Fourth grade, week 14, the moon. Fourth grade teachers, your TEAC state, collect and analyze data to identify sequences and predict patterns of change in shadows, tides, seasons, and otherwise observable appearances of the moon over time. What I have set up for you is a globe in the middle, 8 moons for the 8 different phases they go through, and the styrofoam balls are painted black on one side and they remain white on the other. I have the sun shining over here towards the earth, and I have the orbit of the moon going around the earth. I'm going to use a flashlight to demonstrate why we see the moon the way it does. And I know this is difficult, but I have it on the floor, so I'm doing the best I can. So I'm going to be the sun with a flashlight. We're going to start with new moon. If the sun is shining on this side of the moon, then if you're on Earth, you're not going to see any moon. So we call that new moon. And it's just because there's no shine on the Earth. The moon doesn't give off any kind of light. It's only the sunlight hitting the moon that makes us see it. So as I go around the phases, the moon begins to rotate. And if I'm standing on Earth and that light's hitting me, at this point I'm going to see more of the moon because it's starting to turn. So it looks almost like a big crescent. Over here, if I'm the sun shining this way, I only see half of the moon because this side's dark, so it looks like a half moon. And as the Earth begins to the moon begins to rotate, you're going to start to see more and more. And this is going to give you that big crescent that you sometimes see. You can make a little crescent here and show the kids. It would be actually like this, and shine that sun, and they can actually see that crescent. And they'll understand why they see it in the night sky like that. So I'm going to turn it back the way it was. Over here, when the sun's shining full on that moon, it looks like a great big round ball. And so we say that's full moon because the sun's shining on all of the part that we see. It's not rotating. But we're really only seeing half of the moon. And again, it starts its rotation. And at this point, you're going to see a crescent and a half moon. And another crescent, but you'll notice that it's moving the opposite of this side. And then we're back to new moon. I've laid a book here on the chair for you to use. It shows the phases of the moon and gives a good explanation of this. So we'll leave this in here. It also refers to the tides. So the kids need to understand that our water on Earth is pulled by the gravity of that moon. The gravity of the moon is not nearly as strong as the Earth's, but it's strong enough so when that moon is orbiting the Earth, our water is led by the turning and the gravitational pull of that moon. When we talk about patterns, you know, this all makes sense when we teach our kids the calendar, that it takes 365 days and 1/4 to go around the sun. It takes about 27.5 days to go around the Earth, and we call that a month. And so maybe they will develop that pattern that's in what we call our calendar year. We have years, we have days, we have months, we have day and night. And because of this rotation, because of the sun and all this orbit going around, that's how we developed our calendar. And maybe it'll make more sense for me. It's not just something we dreamed up. So what I would do with 4th grade is I'd have 8 students stationed with these different moons, and I'd have them walking around the earth, and then I'd switch out my other 8 kids. You could have somebody standing right here in the middle, rolling the earth. You could have a student stand right here, and I know this is out of the field of the camera, but you could put a bright light right here, the flashlight, on the earth, and the kids can, as they hold those moons up above the earth and let it orbit, then they'll see those different stages of the moon. I just want you also to point out, and I know this is hard to see, I'm going to pick up my camera, but I've also changed Earth up here in our solar system, and I've added a moon, because the moon that came with this object, this box, was way too big. It looked like a planet orbiting the Earth instead of, in fact, our moon was bigger than our planet Pluto. So I went ahead and made a little styrofoam ball and put it in orbit around the Earth so the kids understand that our moon is not bigger than Earth or bigger than Venus. And there was a little misconception on purchasing this solar system. So I hope you enjoy.